Okay, so good evening, everyone. So, in our last session, we have started discussing about load balancer. So, did you get any chance to perform this one? And is that went well or any difficulties? Good, no issues. Is the response from? Okay, so if you didn't get any chance to perform, like take some time and make sure you do that, guys. Right. So now in today's session, we are going to discuss about application load balancer. See, the process and mechanism, everything is same, but Amazon added a concept called target groups. Amazon added a concept called target groups, and most of the times we use the target groups in real time or in on-premise or production level. We are going to use one application to perform multiple activities and all. I mean, one load balancer to deliver multiple applications. So we use that, target groups widely. So let's understand what is a target group. See, in our last session, what we did, we created a web server. We created another web server. We added both in the load balancer. That is a classic load balancer, right? So basically the disadvantage with the classic load balancer is we need to add targets. We cannot combine this. So if you want to run one target on port number 80 manually, you can configure, and there is no concept like a you know target group by using listeners and all. So when coming to application load balancer, instead of individual instances, we can run multiple instances on single port, and you can run another instance in another port and all. So that means, for example, on port number 8080, see, application level, everything is going to run on port number 80 only. Application level, everything on port number 80. So team really no need to worry. But here, elastic load balancer. For this, we are going to get a DNS name. Now, after this DNS name, if you are giving port number 80, then you can do one thing. Okay, whatever the traffic coming on port number 80, I want to redirect to this particular target group. Whatever the traffic coming on port number 8080, I want to see next to load balancer, they are going to give 8080, then automatically it will redirect to another target group. See, these both the instances. See, again, one instance can be member of multiple target groups also, but the concept based on port number you want to redirect and all, that concept is introduced in application load balancer. Okay, and even path based routing also. For example, you are giving ELB name. If you are giving direct ELB name, you can redirect to one target group. ELB name slash any particular file, index something and all, you can redirect to another target group. So that is basically path based routing. So path based routing is actually introduced in application load balancer only. So as we have these many advantages, um, Amazon always recommend, or our application team, always recommend to create this application elastic load balancer, right? So now let's jump in and let's create some EC2 instances and let's configure the load balancer. I'm navigating to EC2. I'm launching an EC2 instance and I'll use the user data for easy web server creation and all. I'm going to use same user data and I'm going to call this as a, this is web server. So I'll make it this web server is with ELB port 80. For some instances, I'm going to give this. For another instance, I'm going to create another one. Launch instance, Amazon Linux 2 AMI, T2 Micro. See, in the same command, if you want to install this OS with latest patches, you can give yum install, yum update -y. What happened? Our operating system also updates. So that is optional one. However, I'm taking T2 Micro. And here I'm going to launch this instance in episode 1A. Given that, next tag, and this is 1A web server. Right, then click on next, and I'll prefer to create a new security group. I'll tell you why. This is a standard mechanism we will follow. So for all these applications, I'm going to create one security group. So I'm going to call this as a web server security group. And port number 80 must be open, right? Port number is 80 is open. Click on review and launching using an existing key pair. All right, so now one instance is provisioned here. I'm going to create another instance in episode 1B. Click on launch instance, T2 Micro, and another instance is in episode 1B. Scroll down and I'm using same user data. Click on next, and I'm going to call this as a 1B instance. And I'm going to use same security group as that existing one. See, we created web server security group, right? I'm going to use the same. Why? Because these all resources are running on same load balancer. So that is the reason. Click on launch. Click on launch instance. Click on view instances. Now both the instances is going to be ready. Now we should get that output in a minute. All right, so we got that web page from episode 1A, episode 1B also delivers that. Right, now let's go to load balancer. See, first you can create target group, then you can use the target group while launching load balancer, or else while launching load balancer also you can. Okay, so let's go to load balancer. Click on create load balancer, and I'm going to create application load balancer. Click on create. What is the name you want to give? ELB production. Now, do you want to make it as an internet facing one or internal? I'm going to make it as an internet facing. And listener, I'm going to open port number 80 only. See, I'll show you. If I open port number 443, I'll show you. So under what VPC you want to run, so I'm going to select all the subnets under this VPC. Now click on next. See, here it is asking me to choose the certificate. Why? Because see, these HTTP protocol works without any issues. But if you want to get HTTPS, how we will get HTTPS? If we apply a certificate called SSL, Secured Socket Layer Certificate, or else TLS certificate, Transport Layer Certificate, Secured Socket Layer or Transport Layer Security. So we need to, create and we need to add this certificate to our domain. Then only we can start using it. See, I already have, if I want to show, I can choose one of this one, but again, you will get a question. Where is the domain? How I created the domain? Where I added the record and all? Those all questions you will get. Those we will discuss in our Route 53. Then after we will discuss this ACM. So till that time, So please don't open port number 443. Just go with the port number 80. Right? Now, I'm selected all the load balancers. If you want to add any tags, you can go and you can add the tags here. Now click on next. This is warning. Why? Because we haven't opened port number 443, right? Click on next. For load balancer, also I'll create a new security group, but yesterday itself we created one security group, right? That is open with 80 and 443. So I'm going to choose that ELBSC. Then click on next. Now this I need to log in. Create load balancer, application load balancer, application prod, internet facing, and I'm selecting all the three subnets. Then click on next, leaving this blank and selecting an existing security group ELBSZ1, or else you can create a new security group with port number 80 and port number 443. Then click on next, and here we need to create a target group. So here, what is a target group you want to? If you already have a target group, it will ask us choose an existing target group option, but we do not have. So now I'm going to call this app TG80. Why? Because I'm going to deliver port number 80 traffic to this target group. So for easy understanding purpose, I'm giving that. Now, how you want to register these targets to the target group? By using instance ID, you can register, or by using IP address, you can register. And this lambda function is completely different thing. We will talk about that. So it uses which one it is going to use. Is it going to use this instance ID just for registration? That is, instance ID it is going to use, or the IP address it is going to use. Nothing more than that. So you can choose any of the one, but remember these type cannot be changed. So, if you want to change the type, what you need to do, you need to create a new target group. While creating, you need to change this target type. Okay. Sometimes you may get such type of request also. Now, this target group, what protocol it is going to use? See, as we are creating this target group for application load balancer, it is showing only HTTP and HTTPS. Why? Because application load balancer support only HTTP and HTTPS. Now, where you want to perform the health check, you can perform health check by using index.html. Then expand health check settings. How many healthy thresholds? Yesterday we discussed, right? The how frequently you want to perform health check is an interval. Within how many seconds your load balancer need to get replay from instance is nothing but timeout. And how many healthy, how many unhealthy. So I'm giving 2 are healthy, 2 unhealthy. Request timeout is a 2 seconds, and interval is for every 10 seconds, or you can give minimum value, that is 5 seconds, right? So for every 5 seconds, my load balancer will go and check the status of this EC2 instance. It need to give replay within 2 seconds. If it is giving replay, that means one health check is success. It will wait for the given interval, that means 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, it perform the another health check. If it is able to give replay successfully, that treated as a second health check, then third health check. If these continuously success, then only it reads. Now, when health check is success, do you want to write any status codes? So to all 200 related, generally we call it as a success codes. So 200 to 299 is going to be success. Then that is, you can even leave to 200 also. That is absolutely no issues. So then click on next. Now we are adding targets to the target group. We created one target group, but did we added any targets? No. Select the targets, click on add to registered. Now, if you don't click on this add to registered, if you don't click on this, it won't. Okay. So later on also we can add, click on review. This is a review screen. Click on create. So any question on this load balancer creation? Now here one target group is created. And both the targets is added here, you can see, and the status is initial, and you can see target registration is in progress. So once both are in healthy state, see, if your instance is not healthy, that means this instance is not delivering anything, or the configured health check, here we configured health check, right? If you're giving some typo here, that is going to fail, health check is going to fail. If you gave any typo or if this file is not available in our server, no, that health check is going to fail. First thing. Second thing, if port number 80, why? Because this instances is configured on port number 80. If this instance is not opened with port number 80, that is also one of the reason that instance may show it as a unhealthy. So whenever you are performing troubleshooting, you need to verify these things only. What is the thing we configured here in health check? Whether that file is available in our EC2 instance or not, you can verify that. And monitoring. How many healthy host, unhealthy host, 400 related errors, request per target, how many requests coming for one individual target, everything we will get it here by using CloudWatch. Here is a target. Now you can see the status, both are healthy. That means no issues, right? In future, if you want to remove any of the server, you can go here, edit. Whatever the server you want to remove, you can click on remove. Then it will be removed from the target group, right? Now let's go to load balancer, observe the state that is active. All right, and here is a DNS name. Let's grab this DNS name and let's access that. And see, both the servers will give a response. I have given same web page for both the servers, so that is why. So if you want to test it whether both servers are giving or not, you can stop one of the instance. Still your application will be up and running. So I'm stopping one of the EC2 instance. So what happened? Still I am able to get the responses. Replace. Why? Because I have another healthy instance, and this target group is going to evaluate the targets. See, it is unused, and see this target is in stopped state. That is the reason. But still no issues with the application. Let's start this. So I just want to show you both servers are giving reply. So now both servers are giving reply. Now we have configured this particular part. And if you want to test this, you can give this URL :80. See, I'm able to get the replies. Manually, if you are giving :80, we are able to get the reply. But whenever you are trying to give :8080, am I getting any response? We are not getting any responses here. Okay, so that means no instance or no application is there to deliver anything via port number 8080. So we will create a new target group and we will redirect the port number 8080 traffic to that newly created target group. All right. So before that, I need an EC2 instance with a different web page. I just want to show that change. Amazon Linux 2 AMI, T2 Micro, scroll down, and here I'm using the user data, but I'm going to call this as this web server is with ELB port 8080. Right, now go here, give that, add storage 8 gigs, tags, and I'm going to call it as a 8080 instance. Then click on next. So I'm going to use the same security group. You can create a new security group also, that absolutely fine, it works. But for standard mechanism, we are going to use same security group. That is web server security group. Then click on review, launching using an existing key pair. All right, so one new instance is created. Meanwhile, let's create a target group. This time we are manually creating target group. Instead of while launching load balancer, we are creating it manually. Click on create target group. What is the target group name you want to give? So TG app TG 8080. Okay, now what is the target type? Port number 80 only. Again, most of the guys confuse here. No need to change the port number. Your application is going to communicate on port number 80 only, but we are redirecting on load balancer, and I'm going to perform health checks on index.html. Same settings, nothing new. Two health checks, two unhealthy request timeout is 2 seconds. For every 5 seconds, I'm going to perform health check. So don't modify this. If you are modifying this, application will not work. So click on create. One target group is created, but do we have any targets? No. And does it associated to any of the load balancer? No. Now let's add a target. But before that, is our instance is ready? All right, instance is ready. And is it giving replies? So it is giving reply also. Now let's go to 8080 under targets, click on edit. Now scroll down. What is the instance you want to add? I'm selecting the instance, click on add to registered. Then click on save. All right. So now if you observe the status is unused, that means this target group is not associated to any elastic load balancer. So now we need to associate this to one of the elastic load balancer. Okay. So let's go to load balancer. From target group screen, we cannot do that. If you want to add any instance, or if you want to, remove any instance, you can register or you can deregister. From here, you can edit health checks. You can modify the settings, but you cannot, modify a couple of things like a protocol, these things and all. Okay, now let's go to load balancer. Under listeners, what we did, we have opened port number 80 only. Now click on add listener. See, whatever the traffic, see, one load balancer can work with only one port number. Like, port number 80 is already used. I cannot create another port number 80. So I'm going to get port number 8080. Right. That means whatever the traffic coming on port number 8080, what action you want to take? See, now nothing is loading, but I want to forward the request to one of the target group, that is a app TG 8080. Now scroll down, click on save, then click on save. Now this target is going to, it is it is in initial state, and it is going to deliver traffic on this load balancer 8080. So this is port number 80, both the instances. This is port number 8080, and still we are not able to get it. See, there is no change in the configuration part, but even if you observe, it is healthy only, but we are not able to get it. Can you guess what may be the reason? Any try or any guess why we are not able to get it? See, when instance is healthy and all, it should deliver, right? But it is not delivering. So it is successfully created and all. Even if we go to this listener, see this. No one. Sorry. See, whatever the security group we associated to load balancer, that security group is not open with port number 8080. this particular security group, not instance security group, but load balancer security group. For load balancer, we created one security group, and here that is opened with 80 and 443. So that is why port number 80 is working without any issues, but 8080 is not opened. Now edit inbound rules of our load balancer one, add rule custom TCP 8080. I want to deliver for everyone. Then click on save rule. Right. So now if you go here, if you give a refresh, there you can see we are able to get it. See, on our load balancer also the port should be open. See, where we are performing this redirection at load balancer level. So whatever the security group we associated to load balancer, that load balancer must be open with the defined port here. So now whatever the traffic on 8080, it is going to this target group, port number 80 coming to this target group. If you want to create another target group, and if you want to add, for example, I want to deliver some more traffic on different listener. For example, whatever the traffic coming on 8888, I want to redirect to one of the target group, or you can you can forward to one of the target group. Now just save here, click on save. Now this 8888 port is open in our security group. No, go to security group, edit it, add another custom TCP, open 8888, and here select that, then click on save rules. Now the same URL, if you are giving 8888, see it is delivering from one of the target group generally. So on 80 I pointed same, 8080 pointed same. Generally we don't do that, but I just want to show whatever the port you want to, so that must be opened in our security group. All right, so any questions here for me?
Hey, Josh, I have one question. Give me a real-time example for this case.
See, these are real-time examples only. I mean, one load balancer, multiple versions of the applications. If you want to deliver, so then we are going to use it. For example, sometimes you want to deliver version 1 and version 2 of your applications. So the URL and load balancer name is going to be same, but whatever the traffic coming on 80, you can deliver to one. Whatever the traffic coming on 8080, you can deliver to another one. And we are using same resources, so that is cost effective solution also. Or for example, if you want to deliver this web page from another instances and all, so you need to create another target group and you need to configure that, right? But what we are doing, we are using one load balancer to deliver multiple applications also. So those
8888, these are the custom numbers, or we can give any number.
these port numbers. So
No,
basically, yeah.
HTTP standard, but remaining 8080 and 8888.
That we can give any. See, we can even open HTTPS also. We can even open HTTPS, but it will ask me to upload the certificate. So I need to import an SSL certificate, or else I need to get a certificate from IAM or ACM. So as we do not have this certificate, I am not demonstrating. But otherwise, we can choose HTTP or HTTPS, and here we can give any number. So in my one of the application, we even have 18 target listeners, different ports. So it depends on application use case and all. Yeah. So this, as we are using STTP, see, this is not applicable. SSL certificate and security policy is not applicable. So this is one of the very common thing we are going to perform in our day-to-day activities. You're going to get a lot of requests related to this, creating a target group, adding that, redirecting it. We are going to perform that. And generally, this no URL we can map our purchase domain name, or else if you are using internally in our DNS server, we can add an entry and we can give a friendly names. So that getting a domain name and redirecting, we will discuss in our Route 53. So on this load balancer, we do have another option. So that is blue and green deployment. That is also one of the example or use case for the target groups. For example, you have an application version 1 and you have an application version 2. So in this case, what you can do, this is a one target group and this is another target group. Here some instances, here another target group. So I choose wrong color actually. We call it as a blue and green deployment. So one is in blue and another one is, let's assume it is in green. Now at moment, this is version 1. So at moment 100% traffic is going here. Now slowly you want to migrate all data to another environment or another version. In that case, at moment 100% traffic here and 0% traffic here. In second stage, we are going to perform anything phase by phase, like you can call it as a sprint or like iteration, whatever the terminology you use. Phase by phase we will do that. As a second step, I'm going to redirect 70% traffic here, 30% traffic here. Third, 50% here, 50% here. So if everything is working, 0% here at some point of time and 100% here. So phase by phase, we are migrating all our application or data to these versions. So this is my version 1 target group and this is my version 2 target group. So this mechanism now we call it as a blue and green deployment mechanism, right? So based on values we configured, this works. Whatever the value you are mentioning, it depends on that. Now let me quickly do one thing. I'm going to delete this listener. I want to demonstrate blue and green deployment. So let me delete these listeners. Even we can even have that, no issue. But to keep the thing simple, now whatever the traffic coming on port number 80, see where it is, from where it is coming. So it is coming from this. Now this is, let's assume this port number 80 is your application version 1. Port number 8080 is version 2. So for that you created another target group, and if you give refresh, it is not used anymore here. And you can even confirm that it is going to show unused also, right? Okay, now let's go to load balancer, and whatever the existing listener we have edited, click on edit, and when you scroll down, these are the default options. Whatever the traffic coming on port number 80, 100% traffic is going to this particular target group. Now edit it, and I want to redirect some of the traffic to another target group also. See, port number is same now. Now there is no change in the port number. Now port number is same, but I want to send 50% of the traffic here, 50% of the traffic here. Now click on save and click on update. Right. Now the URL is same. If I'm continuously refreshing, the data, 50% data will go to the port number 80 and 50% data goes to port number 8080. See this? Multiple request is going to 8080 and some 80 data. There is no particular, different port number we are not giving. same URL we are performing. Now at some point of time, you decided to change these values. So just give a quick refresh on the page. Otherwise it throws an error. Then click on edit. Now what I want to do, I want to send 90% of the traffic here, only 10% of the traffic here. Distribution. Click on save, update it. Right. Now if you go here, 90% traffic goes to port number 80 and only 10% traffic goes to port number, 90% goes to 8080, 10% goes to that. So just keep on refreshing. See, many requests are going to 8080. In between, some requests are going to only 80 instance. I'm continuously refreshing, keep on refreshing. See that. Now as a final stage, then we can edit it. We can make it as a 0% and we can make it as a 100%. Then click on update, then click on update. Right now, whatever the traffic you're accessing, you're going to get all the traffic from the version 2 target group. So it will take a minute. Just give a hard refresh. Now everything to 8080 only. See, any traffic is going to 80? No. Basically, this mechanism, we call it as a blue and green deployment. So we perform this by using this listeners. One listener, this we can modify. Go here, click on edit. We can modify that here. Okay. So now click on edit. You can perform like, give 50-50 and all. And I hope you remembered sticky session concept. So if you want to enable stickiness, you can enable the stickiness. And for how many days? The maximum is 7 days. Once request is, now I click on save and update. Now what happened if I'm trying to access whatever the instance is delivering, all requests will go to that particular instance for coming 7 days. That is stickiness at group level stickiness, target group level stickiness, or even in one of our target group level also we can configure this, right? So that is a blue and green deployment. That is also possible only with the target groups only. So any question on that? For migration part, for application migration without changing URLs and all, we will do that.
So, Dharmesh, you mentioned that stickiness is going to be for 7 days if I am accessing the application. Is it recognizing by IP address of my request or how exactly?
One session ID is going to initialize. So basically it is going to use cookies. By using that cookie, it is going to stick that session. And that cookie, based on my knowledge, it is going to use your operating system and it is going to use your browser. So if you are changing the browser, your request may go to another server. So depends on the browser. First thing depends on the, it even takes operating system information also.
And if we delete the cookies and everything, clearing the cache, I can able to go back now before 7 days.
Yes, we even have, edit my cookie. See, you can use such type of, extensions. You can add this extension and even you can find like, what are the cookies that website is using and all. You can edit the cookies, you can delete the cookies and all. But, some cookies, basically, this won't identify the load balancer one. But most of the websites, regular websites, this will help us. What are the cookies that site is using and all. So you can enable and you can just go here. You can pick edit this cookie and all. It shows us type of information. Okay, this is using this particular value, this particular website and all. You can give a try with that. Edit this cookie extension. That is one of the handy extension. So that is a blue and green deployment with our application load balancer. And this load balancer contain couple of services, global accelerator So if your customers are across the globe, you can use this. And we have another service called config. You know that config is going to record all the changes happening on this. That we will talk about that. And WAF is to protect our load balancer from common, issues and all. So that we will discuss in our security module. And tags, if you want to add any tags and remove tags. Monitoring, we already know how many requests came. You know, you are going to get that values for every 5 minutes. The request count, how many came. 93 requests came at some point of time. Everything you can get it graphical manner by using CloudWatch. Here is a listener and description. Okay, so on top of this load balancer, if you want to enable any of the access logs, we can enable that access logs. Here, scroll down to the bottom, and here is the access logs. Click on edit attributes, select the access logs. In what S3 bucket you want to store all the logs related to this ELB, you can click on save. Then automatically it is going to. And even if you want to enable delayed protection, you can enable this. If you really want to delete this, you first turn off that feature, then only you can delete it. So these are some common options we have on application load balancer, right? So now one thing I want to mention here. So is everyone is going to use this load balancer? For example, some guys are there. Finally, they run some advanced tools and all. They came to know about my instance ID. See, for example, if you know this instance ID, directly you can give that instance ID, and we are not going through this ELB. What is happening? This request is hitting directly EC2 instance. Agree or not? This request is not going via load balancer. This is directly going and hitting our EC2 instance. This is not a standard mechanism. This is not a recommended mechanism basically. So how you want to fix it? Everyone should use only this load balancer URL only. If they come to know about the IP address of this EC2 instance, that should not be delivered. In that case, we need to modify our instances security group. So that is why I am using same security group for all these applications. Why? Because we are using for one load balancer and all. How we need to modify that? Whatever the security group you are using, go to that security group and at moment port number 80 is open for everyone. Port number 80 is open for everyone. So that is why everyone is able to get this web page. What happens if I edit this and if I give my load balancer security group? See, for load balancer, we are not going to get any IP address. Technically, no IP address. And we cannot give a domain name, it won't accept. So, what we do generally, we are going to not open for everyone. From the instance level, go here, type SG. So, it is going to list all the security groups available in your AWS account. Now, for my load balancer, I created one security group. That is, what is the name I have given? ELB SG1. I am selecting it. Now, if I click on save, what is happening here? Port number 80 traffic is going to only load balancer security group. We are piping the information between these. Whatever the security group you have here for your load balancer or for your instance, that traffic is available to another security group only. So we are technically piping that. Now, is there any interruption here? No interruption. But this is not going to work anymore. Why? Because we have modified to deliver all content to another security group. And this is not going to work. So this is a mechanism we generally use. This is a standard mechanism, and this is one of the very repeated certification question or interview question. See, if I want to keep the thing simple, I can give it 0.0.0.0 and we can demonstrate, right? But this is the standard mechanism we follow. Okay. So any questions on this? The same mechanism is applicable for our database and web tier. The same mechanism is applicable for our Bastion host or jump server in our VPC. So from instance to where you want to deliver the traffic, you know, I want to make these port number 80 traffic available to my load balancer. So then I given my load balancer security group here. That's it. And this load balancer, application load balancer, how this is delivering the traffic? You may get a doubt. What protocol it is using? What is the mechanism it is using? You may get a doubt. Basically, it uses round robin mechanism. Round robin mechanism means first request will go here, first go here, second, third, fourth. If you add any other instance, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it uses round robin mechanism. Do we have any option to modify this? Yes, we do have an option to modify this. So, you know, on your target group, we have an option load balancing algorithm. It is using round robin mechanism. Instead of round robin, we do have another option, least outstanding request. If any instance is getting least outstanding request, basically it is going to intelligently balance. And just click on save. Still it works without any issues, but this is least outstanding routing is an algorithm. So you can take some images how that algorithm is going to work. So it will go whatever the tasks, what is the load on that existing one. So it is going to distribute. See this. This is a least outstanding algorithm mechanism that application load balancer is going to use. If you want to look for round robin mechanism, round robin, then so here you can find some based on like in simple first request, second request, if anything is added, it is also going to take the request. So this is round robin algorithm. So someone may talk about that one also. Can you change that algorithm of a load balancer? Yes, we can change that on application load balancer from round robin to least outstanding request. And round robin is a very commonly used one, right? So that is another option to add on load balancer, application load balancer. Now, let's quickly discuss about network load balancer. That is almost all same options, similar settings and all. So, but I'll take some time and I'll explain. The only thing is the protocol. The protocol is different. So let's go to load balancer. Click on create load balancer. Here is a network load balancer. Click on create. And here is a name. Here, network ELB is a name I am giving. Do you want to make it as an internet facing or internal? Internet facing. See this. There is no HTTP and HTTP. Yes. So if your application is going to deliver by using TCP protocol, then you can use it. Then scroll down. What VPC you want to select that, and this we have an advantage. Only network load balancer have an advantage. If you are taking application load balancer, whenever we select the subnets, is it allowing us to give any IP address? No, it is not allowing us to give any IP address. But whenever you are taking network load balancer, it will allow us to choose an elastic IP address. So a fixed IP address you are going to get for your load balancer. But as I mentioned, we are not going to get any IP addresses, right? But technically, we are going to get an IP address for application load balancer also. Where we can find that? Whenever you go to network interfaces. See, I have total 3 instances, but see how many network interfaces got created. These 2 are for elastic load balancer. that contain a public IP address. This is, you scroll down to the right, you can find that this is a public IP address, but generally we don't or Amazon don't mention this thing. See, it is delivering. Is this same as our instance? This is not instance IP. This is load balancer one only. So in that availability zone, it got created. To what load balancer it is used? To this load balancer it is used. But there is no guarantee to hold the same IP address always. That is one of the disadvantage for your application load balancer. But for network load balancer, you can generate an elastic IP address and you can give it. Okay. So now I'm going to select all this, and there is some temporary limitations, and we need to modify the security groups also. Then here, this load balancer is not going to use the security group. So that existing security configuration will not work. Then click on next. Leave this blank. We are not opening any SSL certificate. See, we do have existing target groups, but it is not showing. The reason is those target groups created with HTTP protocol, but this is going to work with only UDP protocol. So network TG, registration process, and health checks you want to perform by using HTTP, HTTPS or TCP, you can select that, and intervals, you can give that. Then click on next. What are the targets you want to add? See this, configure security groups. So the security groups for your instances must allow traffic from the VPC CIDR on the health check port. So I will show you. Basically, this is a one of the thing. So I want to add all the three. I'm adding all the three targets to this load balancer target group. Click on review. Click on create. So now he talked about something, right? Security groups. So basically, whatever the security group we are using, that must allow traffic on, see, I'm opening HTTP for my entire CIDR block 192.168.0.0/16, or sorry, my VPC is a default VPC, not a custom VPC. Or else you do one thing, just make it 0.0.0.0. We will talk about that CIDR block in our coming session. Just go here, save the rule, and make sure you remove that existing one. Both works, no issues, but not to get confused. Now we are going to get two more. See, we got two more network interfaces. That is for newly created network elastic load balancer, and it is in provisioning state. Here is a target group, and network elastic load balancer is here, and here is a targets. Both are in initial state. See, all the three we added. It is in initial state. That means it is registering. So we basically, this is a certification question, guys, and that too in latest version of the exam. Latest version of the exam, we got this question. That is, you have a load balancer, and that client environment have security compliances. So they are requesting a fixed IP address for your load balancer, and how you are going to do that is one of the question I got in that latest version of the AWS Solution Architect exam. So the answer is generate an elastic IP address, create a network load balancer, and associate associate that elastic IP address. So backend, this network interface is not going to get a new IP address, as it is going to be fixed as it is a elastic IP address. Got that? So that is one of the certification question. So it is still in initial state, and here in AP South 1B 2 instances, in AP South 1A 1 instance. So we will discuss one more option now. That is cross zone load balancing. See, what is cross zone load balancing? We will discuss. For example, it is always recommended to spread or span our instances across multiple availability zones. Now you have, you know, um, one target group. Forget about that. You know, you have one target group here. You have another target group. So you have two instances in one target group, and you have only one instance in another target group. Now you configured elastic load balancer, and cross zone load balancing is not enabled now. When cross zone load balancing is not enabled, what will happen? It is going to distribute the traffic based on the target groups count. 50% target traffic will go there, 50% traffic will go here. Out of this 50% traffic, this instance is going to deliver 25, this instance is going to deliver 25. But here we have only one instance. It need to deliver 50% of the traffic. So instead of instance count, traffic is going to deliver by using the target group count. That is not enabling cross zone load balancing. But if you enable cross zone load balancing, instead of the instance target group count, it will deliver the traffic based on the instance count, 33, 33, 33 here. So that is a mechanism. That is a cross zone load balancing mechanism. Okay, first thing. And one more small thing, when instance is deregistered from the target group, if you have any existing traffic flowing to that instance, do you want to continue the traffic for that instance for some time? That if you want to, then you can set up connection draining option values. But that basically it is set up with 300 connection draining. So that is, you really don't need to worry about that. So now all the three are healthy. Grab the network load balancer DNS name and give that. See here. So we are able to get the responses replaced from the network load balancer DNS name. What protocol network load balancer uses? That is going to use flow hash algorithm. Again, I cannot explain that algorithm. Flow hash algorithm. So this is a mechanism. It is going to evaluate that and it is going to deliver. So again, don't try to understand that algorithm that much in detail is not at all required. So that is an option. So we have on load balancers. So application ELB works with the round robin algorithm and what is that? Least request algorithm and network ELB uses flow hash algorithm and network ELB have an advantage. We can have a fixed IP using EIP option. That is one of the advantage. Now, do you guys remember this thing, TCP/IP protocols or layers? Basically, we have layer 4 ELB and we have layer 7 ELB. If you are from BTech background, you need to recall that TCP/IP protocols. So we are going to have 7 protocols. APST NDP is the mechanism I remembered for my exams. So in computer network exam, whether he is giving that question or not, I used to write that. I used to answer this. Basically, I'm a JNTU student. I can write anything in the question paper. I mean, answer sheet. including question paper. See, basically TCP/IP, we have layer 7 load balancer and layer 4 load balancer. So application load balancer is a layer 4 or layer 7 load balancer. Is the first question. So which is layer 4 and which is layer 7 among these? First task. Second task, launch multiple instances, configure ELB to deliver web pages on port 80 as well as port number 8080 with multiple target groups. That is one task. And after completing the task, configure blue and green deployment mechanism using already created target groups. Okay, so that is another one. And just try to read about frequently asked questions. Read FAQs on ELB from AWS console, you can get it. And AWS ELB, here is a page, elastic load balancing. Here you can find resources, features, so everything here. So yeah, here is I hope you got the answer. So basically HTTP and HTTPS is basically layer 7. So layer 4 is like a TCP or UDP protocol. So application is a layer 7, and that I just want you to go through that actually. And this product comparison also take some time and do that. And after performing this, I want you to perform another task. Configure the path-based routing. Do bit R&D and try to perform it. It's not at all a big thing. It's not at all a big thing. Just similar mechanism, whatever the settings and everything you did right. On top of that, you just need to modify that listener and all. You just need to view or edit rules here we have, right? So you can edit this existing rule. Here is an option, you can modify it. So if rule is matched and all, I just want you to try this. Add a rule, insert rule, and here if path based routing where value is equal to test, then what option you want to take? I want to redirect to one of the target group. Then save, click on save. Now whatever the load balancer you are using here, next to that if you are giving test, automatically it should redirect to that that path, and also perform some basic operation and try to understand. Generally we really don't use that. Even in my experience also, you didn't use that, but application load balancer supports that, so you can try that. Okay, so that is another one I want you to add. So yeah, that is enough for today's session. So any more questions for me, guys? Any questions? And don't forget to terminate all your resources once you're done with the lab. All right, so I'm going to upload the document over GitHub. So please get the document and practice. So in our next session, we will start with the auto scaling group option. So if you don't have any questions, we can wind up. No questions? All right. So then that's it for today's session, guys. See you again tomorrow. Thank you.